Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we sort through, stacks of sources, research, all our notes really, to dig out those valuable nuggets of knowledge just for you. Today we're jumping into a topic that, well, it seems pretty simple on the surface. How to talk about your day in English. Confidently, effectively. But honestly, trust me on this.
Yeah.
Under that simplicity, there's a real powerhouse for language learning hidden there. We're going to unpack the amazing benefits in this everyday skill.
That's exactly right. Our mission here is to boil down the key insights from the guide we've been looking at. We want to give you a real shortcut, not just to what to say, but more importantly, why these methods work so well and how you can use them. So you can confidently describe your day, whether, you're prepping for a meeting, catching up with someone, or maybe you're just curious about boosting your language skills. We'll definitely uncover some surprising facts and very practical strategies.
And this is where it gets really interesting, the why it matters part from the source.
Yeah.
It's not just basic practice. No, it offers really big benefits. Think about it. It helps build confidence, right? And expand your vocabulary. You start using words like market or went, maybe, but also words for emotions, experiences, like happy or tired, but maybe even more nuanced ones.
Exactly, like moving beyond the basics to describe things more vividly. You mentioned commuted or contemplated earlier, those kinds of words.
Right. And it makes real-life conversations just easier. Plus, it even helps organize your thoughts logically, turning scattered ideas into a clear story.
Which is a huge skill in itself.
Absolutely. So what we're really digging into is a path to more solid, confident, and frankly, more engaging English. Okay, so if describing your day is this linguistic superpower, how do we actually use it well? Let's unpack the most obvious, maybe, but often underestimated method, structuring it chronologically. Our guide really stresses this natural flow morning, afternoon, evening. It's not just convenient, it's fundamental for clarity. People need to understand you.
Precisely. And think about it, our brains are kind of wired for stories, for sequences. So following that morning, afternoon, evening structure isn't just polite, it's practical. It lowers the mental effort for your listener. It sets up an expectation of what's coming next, makes your story easy to follow, like any good story, really. Without it, you risk confusing people, making them mentally reorder things, which just breaks the conversational flow.
Okay, let's start where the day starts. The morning routine. The source mentions common things, waking up, washing up, breakfast, maybe some planning, then leaving home or starting work. So you might start by saying something simple like, I usually wake up around 6:30. Most mornings I feel a bit sleepy then, but still ready to start the day. Simple, direct, sets the scene.
Yeah, grounds the listener. But how do we signal moving from one morning thing to the next? This is where the guide highlights those crucial time words. Things like first, then after that, next, and finally. These aren't just filler words, they're like signposts. They guide your listeners smoothly, they create coherence, manage expectations, they really hold the narrative together.
Signpost, I like that. It builds a clear path for the listener. And the source gives a great example pulling this together for the morning. First, I wake up at 6:30. Then I brush my teeth and take a shower. After that, I eat breakfast and check my phone. Finally, I leave for work. Oh, and it adds, I feel ready and happy to start my day. See how those time words make it logical? Easy to follow.
Paints a clear picture.
Okay, moving into the afternoon. Often the busiest part of the day for many people, right? The guide lists activities like work or school, lunch, maybe studying, meetings, errands, and of course those vital short breaks. Always need those.
Definitely need those breaks. And just like the morning, the afternoon has its own useful time words. The guide suggests things like after lunch, in the afternoon, then later, next. Using these helps signal that time has passed, you're moving into a different phase of the day. Think about after lunch, it immediately resets the listener's clock, gets them ready for the next part of your story.
It's all about making it super easy to track. Here's the example from the source for the afternoon. After lunch, I go back to work. I have a meeting with my team at 2:00. Then I finish my tasks and take a short break. And again, adding the feeling. I feel relaxed and happy. Those words, after lunch, then they just guide you right through it.
Seamless.
And then, as the day winds down, we get to the evening. Our source talks about this as a time for relaxing, connecting, preparing for the next day. Activities like returning home, dinner, relaxation, maybe preparation, and then finally, bedtime, the last chapter.
And for this last part, the time words are just as important for keeping that rhythm. The guide suggests, in the evening, after dinner, later, finally, before bed. These help wrap up your day's story cohesively. Your listener isn't left hanging wondering how the day ended. Gives a sense of closure.
Right, that sense of completion is good. Here's the full evening example from the guide. I come back home at 6:00, I eat dinner with my family. After dinner, I watch TV and relax. Later, I prepare my clothes for tomorrow. Finally, I go to bed at 10:00, and the feeling again. I feel calm and ready for the next day. It really does paint that full picture, start to finish.
Yeah, very clear and satisfying. Hashtag 5 key strategies for clear and natural communication. Okay, so we've got the structure down, that chronological foundation. But how do we make these descriptions really, sound natural, engaging? Not just correct, but, well, like real conversation. The guide gives us 5 essential tips here, and what's really cool is how these small tweaks can turn basic reporting into, like, actual conversation.
Okay, let's unpack these 5 strategies. First one, building right on what we just discussed. Speak in order. Keep that flow. Morning, afternoon, evening. It's not just a suggestion. The guide basically says it's non-negotiable for clarity. Our brains expect things in order, right? If you mix it up, the listener has to work harder to figure it out.
Exactly. Wastes their energy. Which leads straight to the second strategy. Use time words. Like we said, first, then after that, finally. Though the signposts, they guide the listener, build a little anticipation, signal the shifts, makes it smooth. Think about, I ate breakfast, I went to work, versus first I ate breakfast, then I went to work. The second one is just clearer, undeniably.
Definitely clearer. Now, the third one is where I think it gets really interesting. People often miss this. Add feelings and details. This is like the secret ingredient. Turns a dry list into something human. Instead of just, I had lunch, maybe I felt tired after lunch, so I grabbed a coffee. Or not just, I met my friend, but I was excited to meet my friend for our usual chat. These details give context, emotion. They let people connect with your experience. It's about sharing your day, not just your schedule.
That's a great point. It's about sharing the experience. And the fourth tip is refreshingly simple, but really powerful. Keep sentences simple. When you're learning, clarity is way more important than fancy grammar. Trying to make complex sentences often just leads to mistakes, hesitation, it breaks down communication. The guide uses examples like, I eat dinner, or I relax with music. Short, clear sentences, they work. Simplicity is a strength there.
Totally agree. Clarity over complexity, always. And the fifth strategy, well, it's the foundation. Practice speaking. Language is something you do, not just something you know in your head. The guide really pushes this. Talk to a friend, find a language partner, even just record yourself talking. Just 5 or 10 minutes a day makes a huge difference. It's like building muscle memory for speaking. Consistency is everything.
It really is. And to show how these all come together, the guide gives that full day example again, using all the tips. First, I wake up at 6:30 and brush my teeth. Then I eat breakfast and check my phone. After that, I go to work and have a meeting. In the afternoon, I study English and take a short break. In the evening, I eat dinner and relax. Finally, I prepare for tomorrow and go to bed. I feel happy and ready for a new day.
You can hear it all right.
Yeah.
The order, the time words, simple sentences, the feeling at the end, it all works together. That example really does pull it all together. But we all know learning a language involves hitting some bumps in the road. Mistakes happen. So let's talk about some common mistakes the guide points out. Knowing these can really sharpen your communication, help you avoid confusion.
Absolutely. Knowing the pitfalls is just as useful as knowing the path. The guide lists 5 common ones. Tackling these can really help refine your spoken English and build that self-awareness. Okay, first one, and it's an easy mistake to make. Using present tense for past events. Sometimes our first language handles time differently, but English needs that clear past tense for past events. So, talking about yesterday, saying, I wake up at 7, I eat breakfast, that's incorrect. You need, I woke up at 7, I ate breakfast. Simple shift, but totally crucial for clarity, for placing the listener in the right time.
Makes total sense. Signal the right time frame. What's next?
Second, falling into the trap of short answers without details. Someone asks, how was your day? And you just say, yes, I did, or it was fine. It kind of stops the conversation. Right. The guide suggests adding a bit more context. Instead of just, yes, I did, maybe, yes, I went to work and had a meeting. It was pretty productive, actually. Gives more info, invites more chat.
Yeah, I see that all the time. It's like a missed chance to connect. Okay, and the third mistake is something we've touched on, but it's worth hitting again.
It is, because it impacts clarity so much. Mixing time order. If you say, I went to work, I ate breakfast, the listener has to mentally flip it. It's just inefficient. Like we said, that clear chronological order is key. First, I ate breakfast, then I went to work. Lets the listener follow effortlessly. No mental gymnastics needed.
Right, no cognitive friction. What's number 4?
Number 4 is not adding feelings. Just saying I had lunch is, okay, grammatically fine, but a bit flat. Adding a feeling like I had lunch with my friend and felt happy adds that human layer. Makes your story richer, more memorable, more relatable. Share your day.
Yeah, sharing the experience, not just the events. And the final piece of advice on what not to do. This feels really key for learners.
It really is. The last one, and maybe the most freeing, is trying to speak too fast or perfectly. Often comes from fear of mistakes, but that fear actually holds you back. The guide is clear. Speak slowly and clearly. Mistakes, they're fine. They're a vital, unavoidable part of learning. Don't let perfectionism paralyze you. Embrace the mistakes. They show you where to grow. Speaking slowly helps you think, helps you articulate, and makes sure your listener can keep up. Hashtag tag tag outro protect.
Wow, what a great deep dive today. We really did find a bit of a hidden gem here, didn't we? So to sum up, talking about your day looks basic, but it's actually one of the easiest and most powerful ways to seriously improve your English. We've seen how it builds confidence, grows your vocabulary, makes real conversations easier, richer, and even helps organize your thoughts. Simple stuff, but with huge benefits.
Exactly. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's about building a learning habit that you can actually stick with, maybe even enjoy. The guide's final motivational points are spot on. Practice every day, even just 5 minutes. Seriously. Celebrate the small wins. One good sentence. That's progress. Speak confidently. Know that mistakes are just learning opportunities. They help you get better. And maybe most importantly, try to enjoy it. Because if you stick with it, your English will get better, day by day.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over after this deep dive.
Hmm.
How might this regular act, this habit of describing your day in English, how might it do more than just boost your language skills? Could it maybe cultivate a kind of mindfulness, a greater appreciation for the little details of your life? What new insights might you discover about your own day just by trying to articulate it in a new language? Something to think about maybe as you describe your next day. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll catch you next time.